That beautiful plant you just bought from the nursery could poison your kids, kill your pets, or literally take over your entire property. And nurseries sell them every single day without warning you. Garden centers and nurseries are in the business of selling plants, but they're not always in the business of warning you about what those plants can actually do. Some plants are toxic enough to kill. Others spread so aggressively they destroy property values and become illegal in some states. And a few are so dangerous that touching them can send you to the hospital. But they're sitting right there on the shelves, looking beautiful, and nobody's telling you the truth. Today I'm exposing the most dangerous plants that nurseries sell without adequate warning. These aren't rare exotic species. These are common plants you see everywhere, and you need to know what you're dealing with before you bring them home. Before we start, comment below if you've ever had a dangerous plant experience. Pet poisoning, skin reactions, invasive takeover. I want to hear your stories, and if you care about gardening safely and responsibly, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This channel tells you the truth other sources won't. Let's start with the plant that's killed more pets than almost any other, and it's probably in your local nursery right now. Plant 1, Sago Palm, the pet killer. Sago palms look tropical and beautiful. They're sold everywhere as houseplants and landscape specimens, and they're incredibly toxic to dogs and cats. Every single part of this plant is poisonous, but the seeds are the worst. Just 1 or 2 seeds can kill a medium-sized dog. The mortality rate, even with treatment, is 50 to 75%. The toxin is psychosin, which causes liver failure. Symptoms start within 15 minutes to hours. Vomiting, diarrhea, seizures, liver failure, death. And here's what makes it worse. Dogs are attracted to the seeds. They look like large nuts, and dogs will seek them out and eat them. Nurseries sell these by the thousands. They're cheap, easy to grow, and look great. But they rarely mention the danger. If you have pets, especially curious dogs, never bring a sago palm into your home or yard. It's not worth the risk. And if you already have one, remove it. Seriously. It's a ticking time bomb if you have animals. The American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals lists sago palm as one of the top toxic plants for pets. Listen to that warning. Plant 2, English ivy, the property destroyer. English ivy looks charming, climbing up brick walls and covering ground, but it's a destructive invasive species that causes thousands of dollars in property damage. Here's what nurseries don't tell you. English ivy destroys everything it touches. It damages mortar between bricks. It gets under siding and tears it off. It creates moisture problems that lead to rot and mold. It adds weight to structures that can cause collapse, and it absolutely kills trees. The ivy climbs up, gets dense and heavy, blocks sunlight, and eventually kills the host tree. A mature tree can die within a few years. English ivy is classified as an invasive species in many states. It spreads rapidly, smothers native plants, and creates monoculture dead zones where nothing else can grow. Removal costs are insane. Professional ivy removal from a house can cost $5,000 to $10,000 because it's so firmly attached. Yet nurseries sell it as easy ground cover, without mentioning any of this. If you want climbing vines or ground cover, there are dozens of better choices. Virginia creeper, native wild ginger, creeping phlox, these won't destroy your property. Never plant English ivy. If you have it, remove it now before it takes over. Plant 3. Oleander. Beautiful but deadly. Oleander is one of the most poisonous plants commonly sold in nurseries. Every part of this plant is toxic enough to kill humans and animals. The toxins are cardiac glycosides that affect the heart. Ingesting even small amounts causes irregular heartbeat, severe digestive distress, and potentially death. And it's not just eating the plant. Smoke from burning oleander is toxic. Using oleander branches as skewers for roasting food has killed people. Even the nectar in flowers is poisonous. Children are especially at risk because the flowers are attractive and the plant is often used in playgrounds and schools without adequate warning. There are documented cases of deaths from oleander poisoning. It's not theoretical. It happens. Yet nurseries sell oleander as a beautiful, drought-tolerant landscape plant. They rarely mention the extreme toxicity. If you have young children or pets, oleander should never be on your property. The risk is too high. There are plenty of beautiful, drought-tolerant alternatives that won't kill your family. Choose literally anything else. Plant 4. Running bamboo. The neighborhood nightmare. Bamboo seems like a great privacy screen. It grows fast, looks exotic, and creates instant hedges. But running bamboo varieties are absolute nightmares that can destroy your relationship with neighbors and cost tens of thousands to remove. Here's the problem. Running bamboo spreads through underground rhizomes that travel 15 to 20 feet per year. They go under fences, sidewalks, driveways, and foundations. Bamboo shoots come up through asphalt. They emerge in neighbors' yards. They crack concrete. They invade sewer lines. They're nearly impossible to kill once established and removal. You're looking at $50 to $100 per linear foot for professional removal. A small bamboo grove can cost $20,000 to $30,000 to eradicate. Lawsuits between neighbors over bamboo invasion are incredibly common. You could be liable for damage to neighboring properties. Yet nurseries sell running bamboo all the time. They might mention it spreads, but they don't explain the true nightmare scenario. If you want bamboo, only plant clumping varieties. These grow in tight clumps and don't send out running rhizomes. Still vigorous, but controllable. Never, ever plant running bamboo unless it's in a completely contained area with proper rhizome barriers at least 30 inches deep, and even then, it's a risk. Most homeowners should just avoid bamboo entirely. It's not worth it. Plant 5. Wisteria. The structural destroyer. Wisteria is gorgeous when it blooms. Those cascading purple flowers are stunning, but this plant is incredibly aggressive and destructive. Wisteria vines can crush wooden structures. The twining stems grow thick and strong enough to bend metal gutters, tear down trellises, and damage pergolas. It gets under shingles and tears them off. It invades soffits and eaves. It adds thousands of pounds of weight to structures not designed to support it. And maintenance is constant. Wisteria requires aggressive pruning multiple times per year, or it takes over everything. Miss a season, and it's out of control. Plus, all parts of wisteria are toxic. The seed pods are particularly dangerous to children and pets. They look like beans and are tempting to eat. Nurseries sell wisteria as a beautiful flowering vine without explaining the aggressive nature and constant maintenance required. If you want flowering vines, there are much better choices. Clematis, climbing roses, honeysuckle, these provide beauty without destruction. Wisteria is only appropriate for very experienced gardeners with proper support structures and time for constant maintenance. Everyone else should avoid it. 5 plants down, and we've already covered species that can kill pets, destroy property, and cause serious harm to humans. If this is opening your eyes to what's really being sold at nurseries, hit that like button. This information needs to reach more people. And the next plants are equally dangerous, but for different reasons. Stay with me. Plant 6. Giant hogweed. The burn plant. Giant hogweed is one of the most dangerous plants you can encounter. Just touching it can cause severe burns that last for years. The sap contains toxic compounds called furanocoumarins. When these get on your skin and are exposed to sunlight, they cause phytophotodermatitis, essentially severe chemical burns. We're not talking about minor irritation. These are third-degree burns with huge blisters, permanent scarring, and sensitivity that can last years. If sap gets in your eyes, it can cause blindness. And giant hogweed is huge. It grows 10 to 15 feet tall with leaves 4 feet wide. Children are attracted to it because it looks prehistoric and impressive. Giant hogweed is illegal in many states. It's a noxious weed that spreads aggressively, yet some nurseries still sell it as an architectural plant or dramatic specimen. If you see giant hogweed, do not touch it. Do not try to remove it yourself. Call professionals who know how to handle it safely with proper protective equipment. Never let this plant anywhere near your property or your children. Note: regular hogweed and cow parsnip look similar and cause milder reactions, but giant hogweed is the most dangerous. Plant 7. Lily of the Valley. The deceptive killer. Lily of the Valley looks innocent. Those tiny white bell-shaped flowers seem sweet and harmless, but this plant is extremely toxic and has caused numerous deaths. The entire plant contains cardiac glycosides similar to digitalis. These affect heart rhythm and can cause cardiac arrest. Children are particularly at risk because the bright red berries that appear after flowering look edible. Even small amounts can be fatal. And here's a scary fact: even water from a vase holding lily of the valley flowers is toxic. Children and pets drinking that water have been poisoned. Lily of the valley also spreads aggressively through underground rhizomes. It's classified as invasive in some areas. Once you plant it, it's incredibly difficult to remove. Nurseries sell lily of the valley as a charming ground cover for shade without adequately warning about the extreme toxicity and invasive nature. If you have small children or pets, never plant lily of the valley. If you inherit it in a garden, consider removing it entirely. There are much safer shade ground covers. Wild ginger, foam flower, coral bells. These are beautiful without being deadly. Plant 8. Mint, the garden. Takeover artist. Mint seems harmless compared to the toxic plants we've covered, but plant it directly in the ground and you're creating a problem that will haunt you for years. Mint spreads through aggressive underground runners that travel everywhere. It will take over entire garden beds, invade lawns, crowd out other plants, and become nearly impossible to eradicate. I've seen mint turn productive vegetable gardens into mint monocultures in a single season. It's that aggressive. And here's the worst part. Once mint is established, it's almost impossible to remove completely. Any tiny piece of root left in the soil will regenerate. You'll be fighting mint for years. Nurseries sell mint in small pots with instructions to plant in garden beds. This is terrible advice that creates permanent problems. Mint should only ever be grown in containers. And not just any containers, containers with solid bottoms that prevent runners from escaping through drainage holes. If you've already planted mint in the ground, you need to excavate aggressively. Remove every piece of root. Consider replacing the entire soil in affected areas. Mint is useful and aromatic, but respect its aggressive nature. Container only. Always. Plant 9. Trumpet vine. The unstoppable spreader. Trumpet vine produces gorgeous orange flowers that hummingbirds love, but this plant is a monster that will take over your entire property if given the chance. Trumpet vine spreads through underground suckers and aerial rootlets. It sends up shoots 15 to 20 feet away from the main plant. It climbs anything, walls, trees, fences, and damages everything it touches. The aerial rootlets leave permanent marks on siding and brick. They get under shingles and tear them off. They strangle trees and kill them. And removal is a nightmare. Every piece of root left in the ground creates a new plant. You can spend years trying to eradicate trumpet vine once it's established. Trumpet vine is classified as invasive in many areas. It escapes cultivation and smothers native vegetation. Yet nurseries sell it prominently as a hummingbird-attracting vine, without warning about the aggressive nature. If you want to attract hummingbirds, plant cardinal flower, bee balm, or coral honeysuckle. These provide the same benefit without taking over your property. Never plant trumpet vine unless you're prepared for decades of aggressive control. Most homeowners should avoid it completely. Plant 10. Castor bean. The ricin source. Castor bean plants are sold as dramatic ornamental annuals with huge tropical-looking leaves, but they produce ricin, one of the deadliest poisons known to humans. The seeds contain ricin, which is fatal in incredibly small amounts. Just 1 or 2 seeds can kill a child. There is no antidote. Ricin causes severe vomiting, diarrhea, seizures, and death from multiple organ failure. It's the same substance used in assassination attempts and terrorist plots. And these plants are sold in nurseries. Right there in the annual section, often labeled as dramatic specimen plant. Children are particularly at risk because the seeds are large, colorful, and look like beans. They're tempting to handle and potentially put in mouths. Even adults handling seeds for planting can absorb ricin through skin abrasions or accidentally ingest it through hand-to-mouth contact. Some states have restricted castor bean sales due to toxicity concerns, but many nurseries still sell them freely. If you have children anywhere on your property or visit your property, never plant castor bean. The risk is simply too high. There are plenty of dramatic foliage plants that won't kill people. Canna lilies, elephant ears, banana plants. These provide similar tropical effects safely. 10 incredibly dangerous plants that are sold in nurseries every single day, usually without adequate warnings. How many of these have you seen for sale? How many did you know were dangerous? Drop a comment and let me know, and make sure you're subscribed because the next section covers what you need to do right now if you already have these plants. What to do if you already have these plants. If you're watching this and realizing you already have some of these dangerous plants on your property, here's exactly what you need to do. Step 1. Assess the immediate risk. If you have plants that are toxic to children or pets, sago palm, oleander, castor bean, lily of the valley. Assess immediate risk. Can children or pets access these plants? Are they near play areas? Are there visible seeds or berries? If there's immediate risk, create physical barriers right now while you plan removal fencing, chicken wire, whatever keeps kids and pets away. Step 2. Educate everyone. Talk to family members, especially children. Show them the dangerous plants. Explain they're poisonous. Make sure everyone understands not to touch or eat any part. If you have landscaping or maintenance workers, make sure they know these plants are present and require careful handling. Step 3. Plan proper removal. For toxic plants, removal requires protective equipment, long sleeves, gloves, eye protection minimum. For extremely toxic plants like giant hogweed or large oleander, consider hiring professionals. The risk of exposure during removal is significant. Never burn toxic plant material. The smoke can carry toxins and poison anyone downwind. Step 4. Bag and dispose. Properly place all plant material in sealed bags. Double bag if dealing with highly toxic species. Check local regulations. Some toxic plants require special disposal, not regular yard waste. Label bags as containing toxic plant material, so waste handlers know to use caution. Step 5. Remove all root material. For invasive spreading plants, bamboo, mint, trumpet vine, surface removal isn't enough. You need to excavate deeply and remove all root material. Any fragments left will regenerate. For severe bamboo or trumpet vine infestations, professional removal with heavy equipment may be the only effective option. Step 6. Monitor and retreat. After removal, monitor the area for months. Missed root fragments will send up new growth. Have a plan to immediately treat any regrowth spot. Treatment with appropriate herbicides may be necessary for aggressive spreaders. Step 7. Choose replacement plants. Carefully don't make the same mistake twice. Research replacement plants thoroughly before purchasing. Look for information on toxicity to humans and pets, invasive potential in your region, mature size and growth rate, maintenance requirements, structural concerns. Step 8. Consider professional help. For large specimens of dangerous plants or extensive infestations of invasive species, professional removal is often worth the cost. Professionals have experience, proper equipment, and knowledge of safe disposal methods. They're also insured if anything goes wrong. Get multiple quotes. Removal costs vary dramatically between companies. Step 9. Document everything. Take photos of the plants before, during, and after removal. Document when you removed them and how you disposed of them. If plants have spread to neighboring properties, this documentation protects you legally. Step 10. Learn and share. Use this experience as a teaching moment. Share information with neighbors, friends, and family who might have the same plants. The more people know about these dangers, the fewer people will make the same mistakes. And next time you're at a nursery, speak up. Ask why dangerous plants are sold without adequate warning. Consumer pressure can change industry practices. Why nurseries sell these plants? You might be wondering why nurseries sell plants that are this dangerous. It's a fair question. Reason 1. Profit. Many of these plants are cheap to produce and have high profit margins. Sago palms, oleander, bamboo. They grow easily and sell well. Nurseries are businesses. If plants sell and are legal to sell, they'll stock them. Reason 2. Customer demand. People see these plants in landscaping or online and want them. Nurseries stock what customers ask for. Bamboo for privacy screens. Wisteria for romantic cottage gardens. English ivy for easy ground cover. The demand exists. Reason 3. Limited liability. Many states don't require nurseries to warn about toxic or invasive plants. Small warning labels on some plants are often inadequate, and realistically, holding nurseries liable for how customers use plants after purchase is difficult. Reason 4. Lack of regulation. Unlike food or medicine, plant sales aren't heavily regulated. States ban some specific invasive species, but oversight is limited. Nurseries can sell most plants legally, even if those plants are dangerous. Reason 5. Aesthetic value. Many dangerous plants are genuinely beautiful. Wisteria blooms are stunning. Castor bean foliage is dramatic. Oleander flowers are gorgeous. From a purely aesthetic perspective, these plants have value. The problems come from lack of education about risks. Reason 6. Tradition. Some of these plants have been sold for decades. They're traditional landscape plants. Changing what's been done for years is difficult. What needs to change? Nurseries should be required to provide clear, prominent warnings on dangerous plants. Not tiny labels in fine print, but obvious warnings. Staff should be trained to educate customers about risks when selling these plants, and consumers need to take responsibility for researching plants before purchasing. Don't assume that because something's for sale, it's safe or appropriate. The responsibility is shared, but ultimately you have to protect yourself and your family because nurseries won't always do it for you. Safe alternatives. For every dangerous plant we've covered, there are safe alternatives that provide similar benefits without the risks. Instead of sago palm, plant parlor palm, ponytail palm, or true palm species. These have tropical looks without toxicity. Instead of English ivy, use Virginia creeper, Boston ivy, or native ground covers like wild ginger or foam flower. These provide coverage without destruction. Instead of oleander plant butterfly bush, rose of Sharon, or hibiscus. Beautiful flowering shrubs without deadly toxicity. Instead of running bamboo, use clumping bamboo varieties. Or switch to ornamental grasses like miscanthus or switchgrass. Privacy without invasion. Instead of wisteria, plant clematis, climbing roses, or Carolina jessamine. Flowering vines without the aggression. Instead of giant hogweed. There's really no reason to want this plant, but if you want large dramatic foliage, use elephant ears, cannas, or hardy hibiscus. Instead of lily of the valley plant bleeding heart, coral bells, or Solomon's seal for shade, beautiful without toxicity. Instead of ground-planted mint, grow mint in containers, or use less aggressive herbs like oregano or thyme as ground covers. Instead of trumpet vine, plant coral honeysuckle or crossvine. Hummingbirds love them, but they're controllable. Instead of castor bean, use canna lilies, elephant ears, or hardy banana for tropical foliage, dramatic without deadly. For every dangerous plant, there's a safe alternative. You don't have to sacrifice beauty for safety. You just need to choose wisely. And there you have it. 10 dangerous plants that nurseries sell every day without adequate warnings, plus what to do if you already have them, and safe alternatives you can choose instead. This isn't about creating fear. It's about making informed decisions. Your garden should be a safe, beautiful place for your family, not a source of danger. Knowledge is protection. Now you know what to look for, what to avoid, and how to create beautiful landscapes without unnecessary risk. Here's what I want you to do right now. First, hit that like button if this opened your eyes to what's really being sold in nurseries. This information could literally save lives or prevent property damage. Second, share this video with friends and family who garden, especially those with young children or pets. They need this information. And third, subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications. I share real, honest gardening information that other sources won't talk about. Next week, I'm covering the best pet-safe plants for every garden situation. You'll want that information. Thanks for watching. Now go check your garden, research before you buy, and create beautiful spaces that are safe for everyone you love. Your family's safety is more important than any plant. Make choices that protect them. I'll see you in the next one. Happy gardening and stay safe out there.